Hi everyone, we are Zilha and Intan. Our project, What's in a Name, will analyze the adoption of English name among international students at the University of Sydney. Now, let's get started. Every semester, thousands of international students arrive at the University of Sydney. But before they even enter a classroom, many make a silent concession. They change their name. To test if it was true, we have interviewed a total of 6 international students, and what we found wasn't much of a surprise.
I am using an English name, which is Iris.
Hi, my name is Chori.
My name is Clary. People call me Rosie.
So why do most people feel the need to rename themselves after coming to Sydney? This isn't just a matter of convenience, it's a subaltern condition that is produced by strict material barriers. As reported by ABC News in 2025, Australian administrative portals frequently fail to process foreign names that have different tones, structures, or diacritics. You can say that this is a prime example of Anglonormativity, an institutional default that uses the English language as a colonial tool and views non-Western language as an administrative error. This friction actively penalizes subalterns in the academic field and in the labor market.
If you're gonna be applying to a more Western company or whatever, I think there's definitely a bit of bias against those names because they'll be like, oh, that's not a white name, that's not an Arab name, that's not an Asian name, they'll associate it with Arabs, and a lot of people don't want that, so they might have bias when they look at my name. So there's that to take into consideration.
Well, though it wasn't happening in Australia. Last year, a Vietnamese student who was studying in the US has posted an email she got from her professor who asked her to anglicize her name because apparently her birth name was Phuc, which sounds kind of like an insult in English. This is clearly a case of what researchers call racial microaggression, where a powerful figure, in this case a teacher, making a subaltern from a non-English speaking country, Englishificate a big part of their cultural identity. This topic has sparked fierce discussion among Vietnamese students who might also be studying or living in other English-speaking countries. The story even made a headline on one of Vietnam's most popular forums for young people. Well, we also found out that meaning making differs vastly across cultural dimensions. In their home context, everyone's names carry a very deep socio-semiotic and ancestral architecture. It often carry a part of their cultural identity and their parents' expectation for them.
My Chinese name is Zheng Xiaoqing. Xiaoqing is my first name, and Zheng is my surname. Xiaoqing. It's kind of complicated because Qing, it has a structure with a grass with on the top and a kilogram, a characters symbolizing kilogram under the grass. So together they will be like many grass. And I was born in the year of ox, so that means I have many food.
My original name is Queen Anh, and I'm from Vietnam. Queen means like it's a name of flower, and Anh is like some sort of like intelligent or smart.
As beautiful as those names are, moving into a Western sphere forces a negotiation. The deep cultural semiotic is flattened into a functional two to fit in the dominant culture.
Like definitely, my dad, he works for a more like big Western company, and he has a lot of friends that are also Arab, and they've had to either like do like an Englishification of their name, so like they'll use nicknames instead of Muhammad, they'll go Moe or Mo, or like they'll kind of instead of, for example, Walid, they'll go Wali. Like they'll make it into like almost like an English name, and that just makes it easier when they're interacting with other people because they won't get as much. Like it's just easier to interact with people in general. So I've definitely seen it play out. I've seen this a lot with the way a lot of families also like change the names of their sons and daughters. So instead of the Arab version of their name, they'll use the English version. So for example, like Yaqub, instead of using Yaqub and like actually spelling it like that, they'll use Jacob because it's just a lot easier. So there's definitely like we understand these ramifications of it, so we take it into account.
This name flattening practice isn't simply for convenience, it's a form of colonialism and subtle racial microaggression. The students are sometimes unknowingly forced to perform a split identity.
Like every time I use my real name, like my English name, I do feel like I do act a little bit more Western with the people that I'm with. Maybe in like the things I talk about, or just I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like yeah, just the things I talk about, the way I express myself. I think that changes when I use my English name. And yeah, I do feel like I'm giving up some part of my identity when I use my fake English name.
Through positive discourse analysis or the PDA, we can observe subaltern agency. More and more people, especially students, are refusing to accommodate the institution. They refuse to obey the system, shifting the burden of pronunciation back onto the dominant culture as an act of decolonial resistance.
Like if they can pronounce my name correctly, I think like they should put in the effort to do so. Unless if they can't, like I won't hold it against them. But I try to like say my name is Seja. This is how you pronounce it. If you can pronounce it, that's great. If you can't, try your best. Yeah, it's my name. So
People should learn to pronounce like people's real names. I don't think you should be using simplified versions because I think that's just like I think one, it's ignorant, and I think you're not putting in effort. I don't think that's I think you should be putting effort because it's like a person's name. I feel like it does matter, like it does mean something.
At the end of the day, our names are not supposed to be burdens. They are the first gifts we ever received. They carry our history, our family, our pride. We love our names, and the most fundamental form of respect is simply being called by them. But true inclusion requires more than just goodwill. It requires structural disruption. It demands that educators and institutions recognize that names avoidance is not a harmless mistake, but a social semiotic microaggression that must be actively unlearned. Crucially, we must dismantle Anglonormativity at its digital root. And that's it. Thank you for watching.